Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here, the Three Topics Gamer, here to give you another episode of my weekly Q&A to out people's questions, or answer a number of questions that have been sent to me over the past week. Before I begin, I would just like to forgive if you guys notice there's something odd with my voice. And if I do happen to cough a little bit, it is because I am getting over the last stages of a flu or a cold that I've been dealing with for like the past, I'd say like at least 4 or 5 days. It's been really awful, and it's kind of cut me back from doing too many videos. So going into this particular episode, it's another short episode. We didn't really get too many questions out in the comment section, and even fewer that I think were like video ready. So make sure you be sure to check your notifications just to make sure you know that whether or not you got your questions answered in the comment section or not. And if you haven't, sorry, and you're new, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, because trust me, it really does help grow the channel. Starting off with the first question, coming from Zach Tarf, and he wants to know, why do I not like the fact that Emperor coming back in Star Wars, I swear. Okay, I think what you meant to say was, why do I not like the fact that the Emperor came back in Star Wars when he came back in the old canon? Okay, here's the problem. It is because we shouldn't even call this Star Wars anymore. The problem with this new canon is that they clearly had no idea what the hell they were doing. No one can convince me that the plan was always bring back Palpatine. I have not seen the newest Star Wars. I forget its name. But I've heard like a lot of bad things about it, and I know what happens in it, and I don't like it, and I'm glad I'm never going to watch it ever. But it is clear that this is a movie that was a direct attack against what happened in The Last Jedi, which I should be happy for, because I absolutely despise that movie. I mean, that was the movie that made me officially condemn Disney Star Wars, like, eternally, like, when it comes to their films. But it is clear that because there was never a clear vision, that Palpatine was just really kind of thrown in at the last minute. It was like they were building up Snoke since the first episode 7, I forget what the hell his name was. And then once he was just killed off, it was like, well, we need a main bad guy, and Kylo Ren is too much of a punk bitch to be the main villain, so heck, let's just dig up Palpatine's old corpse ass. And from what I've been told, they never even explain how he got back. That's my problem. I have no problems with people wanting to do something different, but if you're going to bring the Emperor back, actually have a purpose. I mean, there was a real purpose and a logical explanation in the classic EU. And it actually progressed certain story points. It actually explained a few things. I mean, the Empire at that point was still around. Luke was still developing. I mean, there was a purpose for him to still be around, and it made sense. This one, they just shoehorned him in because they had no one left. They had no one to build up, so yeah, so that's why I don't like it. Next question comes from Brady Burke. He wants to know, how do I think Nero and Virgil's relationship will play out in the future? I don't think it should. There's no need for them to ever really communicate or talk. There really isn't. I don't really see them needing to have any kind of relationship, because I don't think Nero has a relationship with Dante at all. He's just someone he knows. Yeah, they're blood relatives, sure, but just because you're blood related doesn't mean you have to form a relationship. And Virgil was never interested in being a parent, and he doesn't care about passing on the lineage. He's focused on his own personal power and strength, and that's always been his driving motivation. I mean, I see a lot of similarities in terms of his relationship, the relationship between Virgil and Nero, similar to the relationship between Big Boss and Solid Snake. Big Boss never wanted kids, ever. So the fact that, someone took his DNA and created 3 genetic sons for him, I mean, he was like, well, I didn't really want kids, but I don't see you as a son, really, but, I respect you as a soldier and as a man. And I think that's as far as it would go. I mean, Virgil acknowledges, okay, you're strong, and I know you've got some Sparta blood in you, you've got your own set of power, but don't expect me to give you like a pep talk or teach you a story of the birds and the bees. I mean, that's not what I do. I mean, it would be the equivalent of me finding out I had a kid, like, I don't know, if I'm at the age of 50 and I find out that I had a kid, you know, for 30 years, I mean, I wouldn't be all that interested, because just because he's my kid doesn't mean I'm gonna care. I mean, I had nothing to do with his development, so I mean, I'm not gonna make an effort. There's just no point. I mean, that's how I see it going. I mean, they acknowledge each other, but I don't see them being one big happy family. I mean, Virgil and Dante have their own issues. They don't even see themselves as one big happy family. That is a dysfunctional group of family members you got there. So yeah, I'll be honest, I would not think it was a bad idea if they continue on with Nero. If Dante and Virgil were never mentioned again, I would be perfectly fine with that moving forward. Next question comes from Red Guilty, and he wants to know, sorry, do I agree that the Injustice game series stories are better than most superhero movies out there? Hell yes. Hell yes. Oh, they are definitely better. I love the Injustice storyline, especially the fact that Wonder Woman is really the main villain of those games. And you guys know how much I despise Wonder Woman as a character, so the fact that she is openly viewed as the ultimate evil that caused all these problems is something I take personal pleasure and enjoyment of seeing. So yes, I would love to see an Injustice film. Heck, Disney doesn't need to be live action. You can make a total CGI, and I would definitely go check that out. And the last question of the episode comes from Cinevic, and you want to know, what are some things I would like to see in the upcoming Matrix 4, and how do I think it will continue past Revolutions? The thing about the Matrix is I'm not really a big Matrix fan. I mean, 1's okay, 2's okay, 3's okay. I mean, I don't hate any of the Matrix films. I mean, it's just one of those trilogies that it's just kind of there. I don't think it's all that special. I mean, I acknowledge what it did when it comes to technological advances in the department of filmmaking. I mean, that was a groundbreaking moment. But since then, I've seen at least well over 100 films I would watch over the first Matrix film, which a lot of people still really enjoy. So I really, if a Matrix 4 does eventually happen, I'm just hoping for a good movie. And do I think it'll go past Revolutions? I guess. I mean, I've heard ideas that it might take place in between certain movies. It might be a prequel. It might be a remake. I mean, I've heard all kinds of things. We don't really know. To be honest, we do not really know much about this film except that the two of the main leads are coming back. That's all we know about it. We don't know about the story. We don't know when it's going to take place. So, I don't really think it's much. There's a reason to think much on it when we don't know much about it. All they've announced is, yeah, we're doing a Matrix 4 and 2 leads are coming back. That's it. I mean, when we have more information, then I think I can make a much more solid opinion on it. But heck, when it comes out, I'll go see it and I'll give it an honest opinion. And with that, those are all the questions, or pretty much a good amount of the questions that were sent to me over the past week. I'd like to thank everyone that sent in your questions in. And for this particular episode, I actually am not going to take any requests for questions next week. There actually will not be an episode of People's Questions next week. I think this is gonna be the last one for this year, because I'm right now trying to restructure the channel in terms of certain things and how things are done and certain videos I want to work on. And I think I'm going to upload a video tomorrow basically just asking you guys, like, what would you guys like to see added, or certain changes or certain improvements that you would like to see happen in 2020. And I'm going to wait for tomorrow to upload that video. But again, I would just like to thank all of you guys for watching. Hope you guys will be able to stick around till tomorrow when I upload my channel kind of improvement video, or just kind of overview of how we did in 2019 and how we can improve, because there's definitely a number of major goals I want to set for 2020, and I really don't think I can do it without you guys. So until then, I'd like to thank all of you guys for watching. You're awesome, and hopefully I will catch you guys tomorrow.